I wish you knew that your problems aren't because you're not doing enough or because you're not doing things right. Your biggest challenges are coming from the fact that you're in the wrong environment. Give me a minute to explain this, and it's going to change your whole perspective on your problems and yourself and the solutions. So if I could snap my fingers and create one change on the planet that I knew would impact the planet in the most positive way, a ripple effect of positive change, it would be to rewild every woman on the planet. Because when a woman is in her true nature, that's all rewilding is. Being wild means to be in your habitat and roam freely there. When we're in that space as women, we overflow. We overflow our love, we overflow our beauty, our creation energy. Did you know that zoo animals often lose their ability to reproduce naturally? That's how much being captive and being in a domesticated space impacts life. Reproduction is creativity, it's life spark energy. That's why people are walking around kind of, half cocked and missing that aliveness, because that energy of being in your natural habitat has been taken from you, but you have the power to give it back to yourself. When a woman gives herself her natural habitat, everything changes. So our habitat starts with us. It starts with the energetic field around us. This is measurable in science, electromagnetic fields, the brain, the heart, we got it going on. And it all comes from thoughts and emotions. So if you're thinking good, positive, true thoughts that are kind and loving and honest towards yourself, your field is going to feel really good and juicy, and you're going to feel like you can be yourself within that field. That field's going to just like, I think every woman's had this experience, at least for a flicker of a second, where she was in the right company, she was in the right place, where she just felt like herself and free to be herself and no shame, just full on emanation of her spirit. That's what happens when we're in the right environment. And the right environment is the energy field, it's the home we create, it's the people in our lives, and it's the geographical location. And most women are all up in the wrong spaces. They don't have the right people around them, they're not in the right location, and they do not have the right thoughts that are creating the very first environment that they live in, right? It's like the amniotic sac. That's what we're carrying around. And if it's got poisons floating around in it, like you're not good enough, or this will never happen to you, or this person's actions means this about you, and you're in that low frequency, that's the first environment you're shutting down for yourself. You're going, whoop, and that makes the truth of who you are shut down. It's like the zoo animal starts shutting down those energy centers. And then you get into a relationship that doesn't speak to the truth of you. A relationship that doesn't hold space for all that you are. You try to contort yourself to make it work, or you're constantly combative. That shuts down that other environment. And then you're somewhere you don't want to be. You don't like the space. The weather isn't to your liking. There's not enough sunshine, or there's too much sunshine. There's another environment crunching down the truth of who you are. If you take a little creature out of its ideal environment and you just wrap all these environments around it, it will either die or become shut down like the zoo animal, or it will even go crazy. Because when we aren't surrounding ourselves, including the field, with what holds all of us in love, that inner being is gonna bark. It's gonna get upset. It's it's going to get angry and shut down in resentment. That's a good thing though. Because when you have reactions like that, if you're depressed or upset or agitated in your life or just feeling out of sorts, and you secretly know this isn't the environment for you, or you're not creating a good energetic environment through your thoughts and your feelings and what you're practicing, if you have that agitation come up, that's a good thing. It's a sign that your instincts are intact, because they're telling you this isn't right. And they're telling you that so you can be guided towards what's right and good and true. But, societal conditioning says women need to grin and bear it. We're even celebrated, right? If we stick it out with a crappy person, we are celebrated. Oh, she's such a good woman. If we give all to everyone and never give to ourselves, oh, she's such a good woman. There's a societal celebration, and we're breaking that open for our daughters, for our granddaughters, and all those to come. We're going to bust through that and say, if it's self-deprecating and self-sacrificing to the point of depletion and illness, right? Because so many women get cancer and autoimmune diseases from overgiving and not nourishing themselves, then we're not doing it anymore. It's not love, and it's not something to be celebrated. It's something to be looked at and say, wow, why did you feel like you had to do that? Why did you feel like you needed to sacrifice every part of yourself to love those around you, to care for those around you? That's not the right environment. And women are rising right now because staying small and captive to an environment that's not true for them is becoming intolerable, because their instincts are waking up unapologetically. So there's a lot of women in the world, you'll notice they're taking the bold steps to step out of marriages that were imbalanced, where the men felt entitled and the woman was doing everything. They're stepping into new careers at the age of 65. They're revamping their life. They're living out loud. They're decentralizing what used to drain all their energy, and they're centralizing themselves. And when a woman puts herself in the center, everyone benefits 10, 100, 1,000 times more than when she spreads herself thin, trying to take care of everyone. And that's the change in the world that's going to be so magnificent. Women coming home to their wild. And that's it. And it starts here. We start here. And we make little tweaks in the environment. And we uncover who you are. What is your wild, right? Wild is not crazy. Wild is the most sane, grounded incarnation of a living thing. If you watch wild creatures, they have a harmony about them. They have a beauty about them. They have a peace about them. They have a fierceness about them. And then you watch a dog in a cage or behind a fence all day, barking at every neighbor that walks by, and you can see it's lost its center. It's not in the right environment. It's not getting its needs met. And the thing I want to say is, stop being hard on yourself for feeling unfulfilled and upset in an environment that you're not meant to be in. Like just have some self-compassion and say, okay, what do I need to start changing? Number one is that energy field. It's getting free of old limiting beliefs, facing traumas so you can have an awareness about what you're automatically playing, and that awareness is going to help stop that tape that's playing, and you get to bring in something new. And then it goes to, okay, what do I tweak in my environment? Maybe you can move, maybe you can't, maybe you just need to change some things. I had a client who changed her curtains and it changed her whole feel of the place. She had these heavy drab curtains, and then we put on these like the ones I have. It's like light sheer, and then it let the light in, and that just made her feel so much more alive in her environment. And I've had women that have left their spouses and found the freedom, even found lovers quickly afterwards. And some of them have found a deeper peace on their own. So it can be as small as changing your curtains to as magnificently big as changing your spouse and your life. But when you do it from the inside out, it feels so much different than from the outside in. You might go, oh, I need to do this and this and that. No, we start here and we see what naturally evolves from there. Maybe you're going to change your curtains. Maybe you're going to take yourself somewhere that you like and spend more time up on the mountaintop. And a big part of women rewilding is claiming their time for themselves and getting out of the silly illusion that the whole world's going to fall apart if they stop being the milk mother to the whole world. There's moments in our lives we need to be the milk mother, especially when there's an infant on our breast. But then you have to graduate. You have to grow as a mother and as a woman and trust other people so that they can grow. And we get very afraid that everything will crumble, but all that crumbles is an old, soul-sucking, energy-sucking dynamic. And all of my clients are pleasantly surprised with how the people in their lives start shifting when they drop being everything for everyone. There can be moments of discomfort, but men are able to rise better. Children are able to grow better, and they're able to because children do as we do, not as we say. Children are able to look at us and go, oh, that's love. That's self-respect. Oh, mom has the freedom to take 3 hours for herself every Saturday where no one gets to talk to her, whether she locks herself in the room or she goes out. Mom gets to do that. That means I'll get to do that for me. You know, the woman that does everything for her daughter creates a daughter that does everything for everybody else and creates a son who expects everything to be done for him. So this is about breaking cycles. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't need to do more. You don't need to do it right. You just need to pause and say, if I'm depleted and overrun, I'm in the wrong environment, and that environment starts with me. And then it gets to trickle out into my world, and every single woman on the planet has the power to rewild herself. You might try to argue for your limitations at first and say, Larissa, my life is set up this way and the whole thing will fall into bits if I do anything to shift it. And I'm here to call BS on that. Every woman can rewild herself and come into her true nature and honor the beast that she is, the beautiful, wild creature that she is. She can let herself out of the zoo, return to her habitat, breathe, thrive. There's that story about the lion who was raised with lambs. He didn't know he was a lion, so he ate grass next to the lambs, and he was okay. But then one day a lion came along and said, you're a lion, come on a hunt with me. And he hunted, and he sunk his teeth into some meat, and he came to life, and he started being a lion, and the life in him was restored. It's from existing and okay, I'm safe, whatever, to really living and feeling truly held in a way that makes your soul expand. Because there's feeling safe and comfy, but a lot of times women who feel safe and comfy, deep down inside, the truth of who they are does not feel safe to be there, so it shuts down. So this is about creating that environment and making little tweaks in your environment that help that part come forward and lead the way. So every woman has a different wild, and sometimes it's nice to choose an animal archetype to resonate with. Maybe it's the deer, maybe it's the wolf, or the lion or the bird or the squirrel or the bear, whatever it is, know that there are so many different wild animals and there's so many different wild women, and the habitat you need, the environment you need, the interactions you need are going to be different from someone else. That's why rewilding is such an authentic experience, because it's not a blanket statement for every woman. It's not be the queen, be the empress, it is be the truth of who you are, uncover the truth of who you are, nourish the truth of who you are, remember the truth of who you are, and witness all of the beauty that grows from that. And witness how authentic your relationship becomes with yourself, with your children, with your spouse, with your boss, with your employees, with your mother, with your father. Watch that authenticity come forward and feel the expansion of being your true self. And feel it in a really safe and grounded way. When we rewild, we make sure to tap you into your 4 core values so that everything you do to rewild yourself stays in alignment with those core values, because there is no rewilding without integrity and values. At that point, it's just like going feral, Rewilding, there's so much honor and respect for cycles in nature within the wild. I could go off on that for a while. There's even a cycle of devouring things and being devoured by things. It's the brilliant circle of life that keeps the planet alive and vivacious instead of poisoned and being taken from. The planet is representing how women have been taken from and had all this toxicity put on us, and she's waking us up. And when we heal ourselves, we heal her, and we heal for the generations to come. I do one-to-one coaching. I have links down there, and I have a retreat coming up September 19th and the first week in October called She Rises. It's all about reclaiming and coming home to yourself, finding that juicy center and living from a space of deeper truth. If you're interested, click the links below, like, subscribe, and go wild.